Hey there, Aquarius. Welcome to your reading for the week of September 1st. Oops. I hate when it does this here, Aquarius. Sorry, I touched something and I don't know how to fix it. But there we go. I think we're good now. But anyway, you start here with your reading. It says, the spider, it says, be meticulous and patient. You have this imagination clouds your judgment card as well. Yeah, a lot of people have been getting these cards like this that say imagination clouds your judgment. I think, down and dirty, Chris's crappy astrology here, Neptune and Pisces, right? Neptune isn't in Pisces yet, but it's on its way retrograding back from Aries into Pisces, and that is definitely imagination clouding your judgment for everyone. And, really, it's not that big of a deal. I think that Neptune and Pisces, again, Chris's crappy astrology, down and dirty astrology here, I think that what Neptune and Pisces wants us to do is trust ourselves. So, like, if we feel like we should do something, or if we feel like we want to do something, we might not get the answer from the universe like, yes, this is the right direction for you. It's like the universe wants us to trust ourselves. Like the universe is like, are you going to do the right thing for yourself? You know what I'm saying here? So, like, there might not be any confirmation, you know what I mean, that you are going in the right direction because the universe wants to see you do it on your own. And, it's kind of like, I saw this, I think it was on Instagram, I saw this reel of, like, this little child that was, like, there was, like, a string across a bridge, and the dad just made the child, like, figure out how to overcome the obstacle. And, in typical little kid fashion, the kid tries to go over the string when it was easier to go under the string. It's like, I'm not calling you a child here, Aquarius, but, that's kind of like what this is saying here. It's like the universe is just letting you deal with the obstacle. I don't even think it's necessarily about obstacles either. I think it's just about something you want in your life. And it's like the universe is like saying, are you going to just do it or what? And I don't know. You have the Six of Pentacles, the Emperor, and the Two Wands coming up in your first row for your current general energies. Yeah, I feel kind of weird about this first row in a good way. I feel like this is just saying it's going to be a normal week for you, Aquarius. It's like, I kind of feel this first week of September might just be a week where it just kind of like things are just kind of going according to plan. Maybe not perfect, but, things are moving forward. It's just like your average week in a lot of ways, which could be good because that could actually make things a little bit more predictable. The thing about spiders is that spiders, they represent, having a process, right? And so a spider has to weave a web to catch its bugs, right? And so it has to follow this process. It's funny because I think it was like last week, I had just walked into a spider web for your opposite sign, Leo. So a spider keeps building its web right outside my back door here that I have to leave out my back door to go to my car. And like without fail, for like 3 times in a row, I walked into this poor spider's web. And, but again, it obviously this spider has a process, right? It likes my back door, probably because I leave my back door light on, right? And so it's able, catches all the bugs that are attracted to the light. That's the nerd scientist in me that is making those assumptions, but that's probably why. And, again, that's popping into my head for you with that spider in the Six of Pentacles, because Six of Pentacles, he's like doing what works. It's like, kind of the spider was saying to me, work smarter, not harder, right? It's like build your web in front of the light, and I don't know, there's something in that for you there, Aquarius. You have this Emperor card. The Emperor can be you taking the lead. I do think it is time for you to take the lead here. It's kind of a weird reading. It's like you don't have any amazing cards here. It's like the cards are like, I wouldn't even call them challenging, but they're just like the meh cards of the deck, like 7 of Wands, 7 of Cups, big deal, 10 of Wands. But, again, it's like, it could be because it's like a very straightforward week, but I think it would be a good week for you to take the lead on things that you want to see be successful. A little bit of love here as well. You have the Queen of Wands and the King of Wands. So if you're attracting an Emperor, sure, definitely could be an Emperor. Could be a fire sign. You always get fire with me, I'm pretty sure as well, Aquarius. So, there you go. You have the Two of Wands, which is also about taking the lead on something. Again, I feel like saying build your web in front of the light. I think that is like the perfect analogy for your first row here, Aquarius. It's like instead of, doing something that's hard, just do what works. And, I know that sounds simple, but it's like, I talk about this all the time because, well, you're an Aquarius, right? And like my whole entire life, that's what I tried to do. I tried to like reinvent the wheel. I tried to like do different things and never worked. It's like once I started, as silly as it sounds, once I started doing what works, things started working in my life. So I definitely struggled with this for a very long time in my life. And, I don't know. Sometimes it's just easier to do what works, right? With the Six of Pentacles, you have the Strength card. I literally said Leo on that Six of Pentacles. So, again, I think that, kind of this, it might be a clue from the universe. I was just the universe wanted me to tell you about the spider here, Aquarius. The other thing about this card is that it's a good card. I think this entire month, honestly, would be a good month for you to work on your inner voice, right? It's like if you believe you can do things and, if you're able to like gas yourself up, then I think things will go well. I'm pretty sure I said this in your September reading, Aquarius, or something similar. This is about kind of like taming that devil on your shoulder, the Strength card. That's not entirely accurate, but, the Strength card is kind of like that lion is her inner voice or her inner critic, and she's the one that's telling it, like, no, I'm in charge. I think you need to do that, Aquarius. You need to tell your inner voice that you are in charge of your destiny. I was literally about to say that. And you have the Wheel of Fortune. So there you go. Your destiny, your fortunes. You're in charge of those things, Aquarius. And I think you need to believe it. It's like if you say it and claim it and do it and, build your web in front of the light, there you go. Done and dusted, right? And I feel like that will lead to a lot of success for you with this Wheel of Fortune. With the Two of Wands, you have the Nine of Swords, which you have twice in this reading. Whenever I have a card down at the bottom and then it repeats at the top like this, to me, the universe is like basically zooming in on this Nine of Swords energy. So we're just going to jump to this next row because, when this happens, the reading is basically saying, this is deeper information on what the Nine of Swords, wants to get at. Next, in the area of what's coming in for you, you have this Gemini card. It says, speak your truth. It says, choose your words wisely. Remember that words have consequences. I literally just said that on the Strength card. You have this choose a path card. It says, there are many paths before you, but you may only choose one. I'm pretty sure that I am pretty sure your September reading was about choosing a path, because I'm pretty sure I said that in your September reading. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that was you. And so I think it is time to choose a path. And I remember saying something to you, Aquarius, about the Uranus and Gemini. Was it you or was it someone else? It might have been Cancer that I'm thinking of. I don't remember. It doesn't really matter. The whole point is we have Uranus and Gemini right now. This is the Gemini card, right? Number one, we have to speak our truth for sure. Not only do we have Uranus and Gemini, but so many other things are going on right now, like Neptune, ending its journey through Pisces. It's like, yeah, technically it has moved into Aries, but it is going to retrograde into Pisces one more time. And then next year in January, it will move back into Aries and it won't return to Pisces in our lifetimes. We'll all be dead, thank God. Because, I don't know, I hated Neptune in Pisces. And I'm a Pisces as well, right? So thank God is what I'll say about that. But, what I would say here is that I think, again, that there's that, and also speaking your truth. That's where we're going with that. That Neptune and Pisces energy is going to expose the truth in a lot of ways. We're seeing it. It's like, I can't even tell. It's crazy to me how it's like all this, we get to the end of Neptune and Pisces, like all of a sudden all these people are like getting exposed and things like that. It's like, I just saw a thing about some, dude that was in the military getting exposed for, stolen valor. And like, then I saw another video that was like the same thing. I'm like, it is so crazy to me when, like astrology happens in real life, right? And, again, so there's like a lot of truth stuff coming out here. But, on a personal level, for us, we need to live our truth, meaning that we have to stop doing things that we hate, We have to stop doing things that we don't love. You have the Nine of Swords, the Seven of Wands, and the Seven of Cups. Nine of Swords is like a never-ending nightmare, so that's why I said that, because, the Nine of Swords says you could be doing things that you don't like, and why? Why are you doing them? The whole point of the Knight of Swords is that he's in pain, but he's just not in enough pain to make a change. The whole point of the card is that he has to leave this situation. He has to, get out of the bed. And I feel that for a lot of you here, Aquarius. It's like time for you to end something that is causing pain, or time to change your situation. But, this could be anything. It's like sometimes I think maybe, if you've been staying home for the past like 6 years and you haven't been getting out into public, it's like maybe you're not in pain, but, there could be something that would enrich your life, like socializing or, getting a hobby or something like that. So, again, I like to remind people, tarot is not black or white. It is not, there are shades of everything in between. And, you have to remember that, yeah, like, sure, this could be a challenging card, but what the energy might be encouraging you to do something. You know, I think tarot does. You know, it's like that's why I always I always roast people in my comments that say things like, "You said this was gonna happen and nothing happened. I've been waiting." I'm like, I caught you right there. You just used the word waiting in my comments, right? Minnow Pond people do not wait for anything. We cannot wait. There is no waiting right now, especially if you're waiting, you are going to be waiting till the cows come home. And, that's basically that. So we have to go and get. We have to go and make happen. Now, that doesn't mean it has to be hard. It just means we have to get into alignment. I think the best thing we can do, and again, this is really the secret sauce for the next 20 years, Aquarius. It's pretty freaking simple. We just have to energetically match the things that we want. And there's a million ways to do this. I'm working on some content for my other channel and some other stuff that I'm doing, all about this, because I realized this year, well, really just like recently, a couple months ago, I realized like this is what the universe is saying. You have to get into alignment, right? And that's what I would do. It's like you have to become the person you want to be before you can actually live it. You have the Seven of Wands, and if you don't know how to do that, don't worry. I'm going to have some videos on it in a very short amount of time. You have the Seven of Wands. Seven of Wands, card of conviction. It says, when you know that something is for you, then it is truly for you. So, this is a card of believing things on a very deep level. With the Seven of Wands, like we really have to believe that we can be successful with this card to get things to work. And, again, I do think that with that Strength card, that brainwashing yourself this month, I would say not even just this week. I know this is a weekly reading, but again, I would say the universe doesn't wear a watch. Sometimes I do these readings and I feel like they're talking about, a period of time, longer than a week. So, I would say maybe even the rest of the year might be a good time to brainwash yourself. You have two sevens. Two sevens together, to me, right here, touching, is internal fears that don't exist. So there are some fears about a dream. And again, you have that card that says imagination clouds your judgment. The other challenge with Neptune and Pisces that I will tell you about Aquarius is the fact that the fantasy can become more attractive than the reality, or it's like we can fantasize about something but then it's like mental masturbation. It's like we are living it in our head, so we never actually bring it down to earth, right? That is the problem with Neptune and Pisces. So we have to not do that. And we have to not get off in our heads, right? We have to actually go do it in the real world, whatever it is that we're imagining. With the Nine of Swords, you have the Two of Wands. Take the lead, right? You have all these cards. Two of Wands. How crazy is this? I didn't even realize this. Like, literally, the two cards and the two cards, exactly the same, right here. And I said it was zooming in on that Nine of Swords. Can't make that up there, Aquarius. So definitely could be a time for you to take the lead. With the Seven of Wands, you have the Two of Swords. Yeah, I mean, I think everybody we are in a time of third place solutions. We have to, look for other ways of doing things, and if we do that, we will find them. We also have to realize that we're not stuck. And again, I'm not criticizing anyone or anything like that, but I do think it is, it is kind of like a hard time to be alive right now, because it's like we're being asked to do something, like all of us. We are all being asked to do something with our lives without having what we need, So it's like you might need money to, go accomplish something, and you probably don't have it. And the universe is like, well, figure it out, right? It's like, how are you going to get over the string that is across the bridge? But what you need to realize is it's just a string. Number one, you could run right through it. Like that video I'm talking about, that little kid, even that little kid could have probably run right through the string and would have just ripped right through it, right? So that's an option. Maybe you need to go over it. Maybe you need to go under it. Maybe you need to realize that you don't even need to be on the frickin' bridge in the first place, right? It was a bridge, but the ground was right there. It's like the little kid could have easily gotten off the bridge and gone around it, right? It's like that is the challenge right now. How can you do something anyway? I don't know. Figure it out. With the Seven of Cups, you have the Ten of Swords. It's like Ten of Swords can be a blessing in disguise. He has been through, something has ended in his life, but he's making a blessing right here. I think something needs to end here, Aquarius. You know what? I don't think this message is for all of you. I just feel, if you feel like this is like very specific, Aquarius. If you're doing something and it's wasting your time, I think you need to be careful of that. And again, that is a very random message, but, it's like, you could be working on something like that is not producing a result. I think this is encouraging you to take a cold hard look at the results you're getting, especially if you feel like you're wasting your time. It's kind of funny because I feel like you're questioning something if this message is for you. This Ten of Swords with the Seven of Cups, it's like It's almost like something was a pipe dream. It's like maybe you invested your time or effort into a project and it's, not working. And so I feel like this is something that you need to be careful of. Now, if you have recently started something new, totally different story. Next, in the area of messages from your future self, you have this forgiveness card and this communicate card. It is a good time for forgiveness. We have these two eclipses. Eclipses are kind of like fate. And so we have one on the 7th. I don't even know what today is. Well, actually, today is August 27th, so never mind. But we have one on the 7th at the end of the first week of September, and we have one on the 21st. And so, a lot of you could be eclipsing things or something out of your life, something that has been holding you back. And I think it would be a good time to remove things that no longer serve you from your life. You have the Queen of Wands, the Six of Swords, and the Five of Swords. What was this other card? Forgiveness. Yeah, it's like you're definitely moving on from something here. Queen of Wands is about being bold, being assertive, making things happen. So, she needs to do all those things. She also needs to follow the sun. She has this sunflower right here, and so she needs to move towards her happiness, joy, bliss, things that make her feel good, all that. And if she does that, she'll be more successful. So I would move towards the sun. She also needs to not care what people think, which I also think would be good for you, Aquarius. You have the Six of Swords. Six of Swords moving on to calmer shores. So I think a lot of you could be experiencing some improvements this week. Especially if you were to, just do what works, right? If you were to, like I said, build that spider web in front of the light. And, again, I know sometimes people think this is obvious advice, but, I teach YouTube on the weekends and I can, and again, I'm not picking on anyone here, but, it's many times, because I say this right to people's face, by the way. So I'm not talking behind anyone's back when I say this. I say this to my students, right? They will bring to me a video that they created and they'll say, I did it. What works? I did what you said. And I modeled this video after this other successful video, and I'll watch it and it's not even close. It's like they did not. And so again, it's like, and again, I'm not picking on anyone. I do this all the time too, I'm sure. Far from perfect, right? But it's like sometimes I think we really need to pay attention and say, am I really doing what works here? Or, am I reinventing the wheel too much? And this is critically important for you because you're an Aquarius, you're an innovator. So here's the secret as well. I'm not saying that you shouldn't be innovating. I'm just saying that sometimes we have to do what works to get started and then we can innovate, right? And so I kind of get that here from the whole reading. You have the Five of Swords. I think there's some sort of risk you have to take here, Aquarius, just looking around at all this. Five of Swords can be a separation or, walking away from something, but, it can also be a card of risk-taking, and so I do think it would be a good time for you to, take some risks, to be more successful, to make things happen in your life, whatever. Let's see. With the Queen of Wands, you have the High Priestess. Definitely time to trust your intuition, for sure. I think your intuition is guiding you at this time. We are in a very intuitive time, so, I would trust your intuition. With the Six of Swords, you have the Seven of Wands twice right here. A lot of people have been getting repeating cards this week, which is kind of interesting. Whenever we have, more than, I would say, 3 cards repeating, which we kind of do here, right? Or I think we do have 3 exact repeats, but... whenever we have multiple repeating cards like this, especially 3 or more, to me, it's like confirmation from the universe. It basically says you're on the right path. You're doing the right things that you need to be doing. Yes, with the Five of Swords, Nine of Cups, you have to go for something. It's like you have to stop living it in your head, though, is what I feel, Aquarius. We talked about this earlier, and, the Nine of Cups is also about alignment. This is a very simple reading, interestingly enough. I think it's just saying that you have to build your web in front of light and get into alignment. You just have to be the thing that you want to be before you can be it. And if you do that, you will be very successful. Nine of Cups is about getting a wish, but he's getting a wish because he's in alignment. Next, in the area of the good stuff, you have this trust card and this adventure card. Yes, trust the adventure, go on the adventure. Realize if you knew all the answers, it wouldn't be a freaking adventure, right? You wouldn't have an exciting story to tell. It's like it's like I always say, if you watched a movie, and the movie was, the hero went out and got his reward, and that was the movie, right? That would be the most boring movie on earth. right? No one wants to hear that. Why do you think every book about every successful person ever is, this person had all these issues and they overcame those issues and became very successful, right? That's what people really want, is they want to hear about, how people overcame adversity and, all these challenges, right? That is the adventure part of it. So, it's like adventure is a good thing. You have the Four of Cups, the King of Wands, and the Ten of Wands. Four of Cups is about needing to accept something into your life. I think some of you, that I said this in your September reading, that you could be like kind of revisiting a path or revisiting an option, like work-wise or business-wise, or, just something. It could even be a personal project. And I feel like you're doing something again. So if you are, good. You have the King of Wands. Again, if you want love, there is a little bit of love here. Not really a love reading. I think this reading's all about you building a spider web. So there you go. And getting into alignment, like I said. But, definitely could be a person. Could be a very fiery person. Could be bold, assertive, confident. Could be, the two of you together. Could be bold, assertive, confident. Looks good to me. You have the Ten of Wands. Yeah, it's like there are certain things you have to release here, Aquarius, or certain things you have to let go of, certain things that have been holding you back. Do I feel bad about this? No. It's coming up in the good stuff, which, kind of would say you're getting close. The whole point of the card is that he's very close to achieving his goal. He's almost at his home in the background here, and so he's about to release his burdens. So, really, I think a lot of you could be about to release your burdens. With the Four of Cups, you have the Lover, sorry. Definitely could be love. I think that if you want love, you're going to obviously have to accept it with the Four of Cups. Like, yeah, the Four of Cups is coming up in the good stuff, but the problem with the Four of Cups is the fact that maybe you've been hurt, like, multiple times before, and it's like now you could be nervous to accept a new love offer. And so if you want it, I would obviously get it. You can't. Here you go. Anytime I say it's not a love reading, it always turns into one. With the King of Wands, you have the Four of Wands. So definitely could be a person that you will marry in the future. Or, again, as I always say, Four of Wands can just be a deep commitment. Not everybody wants to get married. So whatever you're into, don't care. Whatever you want. And, but could be a strong connection. With the Ten of Wands, you have the Page of Wands, adventure. Page of Wands, he follows his enthusiasm. And he just kind of like moves in that direction. So he doesn't really know, again, like what is going to work. And you cannot make this shit up, Aquarius. You have both bridge cards in this deck. How crazy is it that I was telling that bridge story with the string there? That is crazy. But again, Page of Wands doesn't really know where he's going, but there you go. But he does it anyway. You have this Grasshopper card. It says, situation in the balance that requires careful handling. I actually feel luck here. It's like if you're taking a leap of faith, I feel there could be a lot of luck involved. It's like you will be lucky with the leap of faith that you're taking. So I do like to see that. You have this bullet that says, do not back down from opposition, show strength and fortitude. You have the literal strength card in the Seven of Wands. Again, with both of those cards, and even like the Four of Wands as well, is a card of commitment. But, this could be you committing to your beliefs or, committing to something in your life in general. And so the deeper you believe something, the more committed you are, the more likely it is that you will be successful. You have this dagger card that says fears, worries, tense situation. I've almost every single person has had something like this. I think that it's, this month, especially the entire month of September. And yes, I know this is a weekly reading, but, I would say the entire month, I would, no road rage, no getting mad at people, no creating arguments in the home and things like that as well. I think it's a really good month to just let things go, as hard as that is, right? And, especially if someone deserves it, but next month, October. It's like, if someone does you dirty, just remember for October, and then you can rip their head off, right? But this month, don't do it, is what I would say. It's just like, everybody has had something about this. You have this broken bridge. It says, unsuccessful outcome to a problem. I'm gonna pull you an extra card, because these basically are the same thing. You have this bridge card. It says, successfully overcoming a problem. Like I said, the string across the bridge. It's like, maybe you thought the string was a bigger deal than it actually is. That's kind of what's popping into my head here. It's like, you are like that little baby or child that couldn't, get across the bridge. But now you can. You have this claw. It says, be careful, do not take risks. This card comes up a lot, but I think we have to take risks. Funny enough, I think the type of risk we have to take is very Pluto in Aquarius, which is, the types of risks we should be taking is like the risk of speaking up and being wrong. the risk of public speaking in general, the risk of taking the lead on something and being wrong, like, the risk of exposure, basically. But what I would say is I do think it is a bad time to take like uncalculated risk. And it's funny you have this bull card as well, because Uranus will be retrograding from Gemini back into Taurus this year. And I think it's like November 7th or something that it officially moves back into Taurus. So even though we're not there yet, we're close. And the thing about Uranus and Taurus is like any risk that we take, it actually is a good time to take risks if you research, the ins and outs of something. Taurus wants to make sure that there is a solid foundation, that, that something is built to last. Like a bad risk to take with Uranus and Taurus is like investing in your money into an investment that someone told you about, where you don't know anything about it. A good risk to take is to be responsible. And if someone tells you like, hey, this stock is going to go up 1,000,000%, you should, number one, you need to be realistic and say, well, probably not, number one. And then you should go read everything you possibly can about the company. And then you should make a responsible investment, like a small amount of money. Again, I'm not a financial advisor. I failed math my entire life, although I'm good with money. So I will say that. But, again, you have to know the ins and outs of everything that's going into it. If you do that, then the risk could pay off. If you don't do that, you will get screwed. So, there you go. This looks good. I like it. It's a weird reading. It's like the cards aren't great, but it's also like not bad. Whatever. Thank you for being here, and definitely enjoy your week.